Tiger Woods seems kind of chill. Like
I hope so.
I know he
For
might.
his son's sake, I hope so. Because like when you're that competitive on that, because he's the guy's got the brain for it.
Well, he's
like,
the Jordan of golf to me.
right.
Like,
yeah, absolutely.
He's not like. For my era, he's the Jordan. I know Jack Nicholson's probably the greatest of all time, like technically with wins and stuff.
Jack Nicholson.
Oh, Jack. What's his name?
Nicholas.
Nicholas.
Jack Nicholson's pretty good too.
Welcome back to Just Weirdly Blended. I'm Jesse.
And I'm Tom.
I've been having a hard time saying that. Trouble saying that.
I bet.
Just a little blended.
It's what do they call that in sports when you can't perform anymore? The
Sport, like a
what do they call that? You've got the
like a block.
Skibs, but it's not the skibs. They call it something.
Skib sounds like an STD.
It does. You got the skibbies.
Bro, she gave you a bad case of skib.
What is that though? There's something like sports therapists have to help them work through.
I know
not shanks.
I don't know the term, but I know there's something like pitchers sometimes will go through where it's like a psychological thing where they'll have to work with the therapist to try to get that
right
get out. But
Simone Biles got the spinnies. There's definitely a term for that one.
I can believe that because I think you get locked in your head.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So when I was playing softball, this is in depth right here. Softball, not a hard sport. It's slow pitch normally.
That's debatable.
But there's like I play in a competitive men's league, and some of the pitchers are pretty decent the way they pitch or whatever. They can put spin.
Got the strong arm.
But there was this one year, it was like, was it last year? No, it was a couple years ago. It was my first year back. I had taken a year off because I blew out my Achilles.
Playing the game, right? Or were you playing
I was playing football.
Yeah. Okay.
It was a turkey bowl. It was flag football. Go mind you.
They grabbed that flag pretty hard.
I wish. It was like me. I catch the ball to go run, and then something like pops, and I was like, oh, I was like, what is that? That's a whole nother thing. But anyway, like, so I come back, and I've been playing softball for, I don't know, 15 years. And I hardly strike out. If you do, usually it's because you're foul off. You can only have so many fouls in as a strike.
Okay.
And then you can strike out from that. But to swing and miss, normally doesn't happen.
Okay.
Except this year, I did it, right? And so I first at bat, swing and miss. I was like, what the fuck, man? And this pitcher was pitching kind of weird.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, whatever. It's my first week. I have scibbies.
Yeah, you got skibs. You got a bad case of the skibs. Yeah.
Fucking second at bat, strike out again. Now I'm pissed. I'm like, fucking shit. So definitely have the skibbies at this point. Yeah. Because now I'm in my head, like, what the fuck? Because then the third time I come up, and I'm like, there ain't no way. I'm fucking. I struck out 3 times. I think. I think it was 3. Maybe no. I think the fourth one I kind of like tipped it, or it was like a little grounder or something shitty. But I struck out 3 times for sure.
Man,
dude, I was so pissed. Because I'm like,
did you throw bats?
Bro, I wanted to. I was like,
that'd be funny.
I'm competitive with myself.
Yeah.
So like, I was like, you ever get so, I don't know if you do, but like for me, sometimes I get so competitive or like with anything where you almost, if people see you, it's like you're pouting.
Never done that. No.
You know what I mean?
No,
like
never.
I'm not like verbally saying anything.
Punching myself in the head like an idiot in the garage. No, that's never happened.
Yeah. So this one, I was just quiet. I was just like fucking shit, brooding. Yeah, I was brooding.
Brooding.
That's
a good word. You weren't pouting. You were brooding.
I was brooding.
Kids pout. Adults brood.
Yeah. I was brooding hard to the point I wanted to throw a tantrum.
You're brooding through those skibbies. Yeah. You had it.
Dude, I had the skibbies, dude. I think I had the worst case. But yeah, that's the only thing I can think of, like, because once I was in my head, like, I'm thinking, don't strike out, but that's all that would happen.
Yeah.
All right, swing at something or do
golf,
something.
Man, every time we play golf, like, I remember early on when I played golf, so Golfland in Pasco, for local listeners, it's right across this small 2-lane street from a soccer field. I would go with my dad and his friend, and play with them. And it's like a really small practice course. And it's really not a hard course, but
par 3 course.
But, you know, like I was learning the game at the time. Not that I'm that much better now, but at the time I was like a learner.
Yeah.
And they on especially Sundays they would have soccer matches. And I mean, it's like soccer matches in Pasco are like a Las Vegas swap meet or something. Like everybody's there. There were cars lined up the side of the street. There were cars lined up on the other side of the street. There were cars straight ahead lined up. I mean, they almost are parking on the golf course. It was so many cars.
No, that's true. It is very true.
It's nuts. And I would always get nervous on this one hole that was right next to that spot.
The hole 2?
Which is like it's like the beginning of the golf course.
The second hole.
And I would always be like, oh, I can't hit the cars. I can't hit the cars. And every time, guess where that ball would go? No, I never hit a car.
So,
but
the thing too about where he's talking about, there's a line of trees that kind of help.
That do typically prevent anything major.
But he hit a couple soccer players.
Yeah.
So that's a little.
But they're just kids. They bounce back. So
there's so many though.
There's tons of people.
Yeah.
Tons of people. And so it's just funny though. Like you said, like you're thinking, don't miss, and you miss. You think, don't hit the car. And the ball goes right to the car. You know, it's all that mental. Like you're putting your energy into the thing, and whether you're thinking do or don't, that's what's happening, right? You're willing that into existence. This is getting very philosophical.
Well, no, that's true though. I think that there's some points to that because with anything like you constantly think about something bad that's going to happen. Eventually, something bad's going to happen because you're throwing that out there.
Yeah, right. So exactly. Like, you throw that energy into the world.
Yeah.
And I don't mean like pseudo energy, like.
But like you saying you don't want to hit this, but
where are you focusing?
You're focusing on
all
not
your
hitting.
attention. Like I'm golfing and I say I can't go to the left, and my brain's thinking left. Where am I going? To the left.
So I wonder. Sometimes I'm like, I wonder if you can switch that up. Be like, okay, I want to hit these cars. Yeah. Like I'm going to hit these cars,
and then you would because you're still focusing on the cars. Yeah. You're gonna think I can't go to the right. So I can't go to the right.
I do not want to get on the green. I don't want to do it.
I do not want to hole in one this. By God, I will not hole in one.
Did you see Tiger Woods' son hit a hole in one?
Fuck that kid. No, that's good for him. That's awesome.
He's like,
how old's this kid now? Like
13 or something. He's fucking young. He's like
still young.
13 to 15.
Come on, if your dad's Tiger Woods, first of all, that's got to be intense because I'm sure Tiger's not super calm about things.
I don't know. I see stuff, but deep down he probably is. But I'll see like videos of him, and he seems very
chill.
Tiger Woods seems kind of chill. Like
I hope so.
I know he might.
For his son's sake, I hope so. Because like when you're that competitive on that, because he's the guy's got the brain for it.
Well, he's the Jordan of golf to me.
Right. Like, yeah, absolutely.
He's not like. For my era, he's the Jordan. I know Jack Nicholson's probably the greatest of all time, like technically with wins and stuff.
Jack Nicholson.
Oh, Jack. What's his name?
Nicholas.
Nicholas.
Jack Nicholson's pretty good too. Jack Nicholson.
Same difference.
It's golfer. He's now a longtime listener of the show.
Greatest.
The greatest of all time.
Same difference.
The Golden Llama.
They're both white. It's no different.
Jack Nicholson.
Here's Johnny.
I always liked watching him at the Laker game sidelines. He was.
Why does he always look
like crazy?
He always looks nuts
because he's amazing. I mean, if you watch his performances, so in the movie The Shining, I love. I think it was in a documentary. Either that or it was just information like that. They, sometimes they do like the extended DVD.
Yeah,
maybe it was just that. I don't know. But they show him getting ready for that scene where he's chopping down the bathroom door.
Oh, yeah. Where he does the Here's Johnny.
And he's just like jumping around. Like getting himself all amped up and nuts. He's so funny.
What's that movie with him? Leo DiCaprio. It's a fucking badass movie.
It's The Departed. Where he plays
like a mobster type.
Yeah, he plays what's his name? Not Sonny. He plays Whitey Bulger.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or at least a character like Whitey Bulger.
So there's a scene in there where he does something like that throws off the characters, but he does it I don't know if it was in the movie or not, but they talk about basically he had like a dildo.
Yeah.
And he like unzips his pants and like.
Yeah. That happened in The Sopranos.
And
once.
flashes or does something in the movie theater, like in a scene. And it like throws the characters off. Like he's doing it.
It throws the actors off so that their reaction is correct. So that happened in The Sopranos in I think it was season 3, Pine Barrens. Christopher and Paulie are taking care of this body out in the Pine Barrens of Jersey. And they end up lost. They're stuck in the woods. 2 mobsters in like leather coats and slacks and like dress shoes out in the middle of the woods running around angry with each other, lost. They finally get a hold of Tony. Tony's like, what the fuck? Blah, blah, blah. You know, all this shit. Great episode. One of the best episodes ever of that show.
No.
And so there's a scene. So Bobby Bacala is a character. He ends up being Tony's brother-in-law, but he's a hunter.
Okay.
He knows how to hunt. So in the scene, Tony knows this. So he goes to his uncle's house and Bobby's supposed to meet him there. So he's talking to Uncle Junior in the kitchen. Bobby comes up the stairs from outside and comes in all the hunting gear, and Tony like loses it, starts laughing at him.
Yeah.
Like he looks like an idiot because, you know, in their world, they're not hunters. So he's laughing. Well, the actual story was the guy that plays Bobby Bacala had a dildo sticking out of his pants. So when he walked in, James Gandolfini saw it and actually started laughing. And that was an exact same scenario where
just to get that reaction,
just to get that authentic reaction.
That's funny.
Yeah, I mean, some actors do crazy. Like again, James Gandolfini when he gets really sick in season 2, and he's like really shaky and like kind of like pissed off at his sickness. He stood in a bucket of ice water to get himself really uncomfortable.
Oh.
I heard that he would put a rock in his shoe if he was supposed to be really pissed at somebody because it would be really uncomfortable and kind of get under his skin.
God, that'd be annoying.
And it would, but I mean, you know, you think like if you were a director and you really wanted someone to be like off kilter and not great, like would you berate them or something? Like would you be really rude to them before a scene or like make them feel like you're not doing good enough? And just to get that shot and be like, you did great, man, you did great. Like,
I guess,
if you were going to be a good director, you'd have to be a dick.
Yeah, I bet you really like great directors are probably assholes.
You know, I mean, like you think about it, like you'd have to put yourself in a position that would be realistic to that character,
like
right?
Just you saying that really, like, I hate when people like I feel like berated or like I get talked to in a certain tone or anything.
Right.
Like I have pet peeves and that's definitely one of them. And yeah, that would probably get a reaction.
But if you as a director wanted that person to show that irritation and that frustration,
oh yeah, that'd be a good way to do it. If you knew him,
and you're supposed to like take it out on this other actor, and you're like, all right, you know, you fucking suck. Why can't you just get this? Now go, action. And they're like, fuck you. And you're like, yeah, cut. You got it. That's exactly what I wanted. I didn't know the words, but he did it.
Yeah, no, that would get my reaction for
crazy,
sure.
Right?
Because I'd be so livid, like I'd want to fuck up
you'd
that.
Be like, I'm fuck you up. And then you'd actually punch the
I'd
other
be like,
actor.
Fuck you, director, you piece of shit.
You know, there's a story that James Caan in The Godfather Part 1 actually hit the guy who played his brother-in-law. There's this. Have you seen The Godfather?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so you know the scene where his character Sonny, he beats the brother-in-law and like takes the garbage can and slams it over. So I always find it funny because the story is that like there was an issue between them. Like the guy was kind of a douche. I don't remember if the story was that he was like harassing one of the girl actors or what the story was, but there was some story behind it. And one of the punches he threw, he actually hit the guy kind of intentionally, but accidentally. But I've only ever noticed the part in the scene where he goes to punch and it's literally like from your face to my fist, like this far away. And the guy totally acts like he got hit. It's one of the funniest things I've ever seen. Love the movie. I'm sure I've talked about this before. I mean, The Godfather. It is so fantastic. Like, I forgave it 100%, but it is hysterical to see a punch thrown so clearly missed, and you hear the celery snap sound effect, and the guy's totally going over. It's like there's no way. Maybe the air. Maybe Sonny is so strong.
You know, it's just the the angle. Wind. The angle made it look that way.
Yeah. He made good contact.
No, there's a scene in Supernatural where Sam and Dean are. I think Sam is. I don't know if he was possessed. This is before they were like, yeah, no, I think it was Sam was possessed because they like did something where they locked him in. They locked the body in him. Like somehow he got locked. Like somehow he got possessed. Anyway.
Okay. Yeah.
But they were both in Bobby's little room at his house, and they're both like kind of sitting there, and then you see Dean reach across and punch Sam.
Yeah.
He really punched him.
Like on purpose?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah,
I know. I don't think he punched him hard, but he punches him like for real. Yeah.
They hit each other in the nuts all the time. I know that.
Oh, they do that for real.
And the guy that played Castiel, I think he was in on that too. They would just smack each other in the nut. I would be like, dude, I do not want to play this game. I'm not a nut smacker. Don't smack me.
Yeah, don't touch my nuts.
However, with them, it's very fun.
Unless you're my wife, you can touch my nuts.
If you're gonna touch them gently, that's fine.
Yeah.
Don't punch me in the nuts.
Are you some famous actress, maybe?
That would be kind of a fun Trump speech to watch. Him talking about don't hit me in the nuts.
Don't hit me in the nuts.
Look, we love a little tap. Little tap. That's nice. But don't punch me in my nuts. I don't like it.
Yeah. Oh, getting back to the greatest of all time, though.
Yeah. Jack Nicholson.
Jack Nicholson. But like...
or Jack Nicholas.
But like Tiger Woods, you know, he's like... The reason I call him like Michael Jordan or like a Kobe or... they have that mindset where it's like they are so
the
hyper...
mindset,
yeah, the hyper-focused on... I want to be the best at what I do, so I'm going to go out and I'm going to hit 1,000 balls.
Yep.
And I'm going to make sure out of those 1,000 balls, 95% of those need to go here or do this. Like Kobe would, he would have his routines just like Jordan would.
Right.
So that's where I think for them, they have that mentality. So being a son of one of those would be hard.
That's what I'm thinking.
Because look at Jordan. Jordan had two sons that played basketball, and both of them were garbage. They didn't even make it to the NBA.
And now one's like an actor.
Michael B. Jordan.
Michael B. Right? that was funny to me. Like, is that really his name, Michael B. Jordan? Is that like his real name or his stage name?
Michael's trying to be Jordan, but it ain't working.
No, Michael Jordan. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Those three are like in a league of their own when it comes to the mental side of the game. So there's probably somebody in baseball that's similar. Baseball's a little different. Sport,
there's athletes like for me, Griffey was always one of mine.
Sure, yeah, Ken Griffey Jr. Yeah, and that team.
There's always students of the game, right?
Yeah,
where they're just like very just hyper focused. They, this is my job, so I'm going to be the best at it.
Yeah.
You got like some of the best Tony Gwynn. He was probably to me one of the greatest hitters of all time. This dude, like they said, he could have went over. I forget how many, like 1,000 or something. His batting percentage would have only dropped to some number.
Tanked and still beat most people.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
This guy he never really struck out during his career. Like some of the greatest pitchers hated him because he was just that good.
Wow, man.
He's just smart. But switching subjects, I went to a funeral on Thursday.
Oh wow.
Was it Thursday? It was Thursday. It was Alicia's cousin. Rest in peace, Leo.
Yeah.
He had passed away. He had ALS, and God rest his soul and stuff. Like, but we went to the funeral, and funerals are weird for me. I never know how to like.
Can I say for just 1 second though how awesome your intro was, where you said he passed and God rest his soul, and
I laughed.
Let's get the niceties out of the way here, because this shit's gonna get good. So all right, so yeah, they can be awkward,
it's super respect. I love it's the family, and I all genuinely like it was a sad moment and stuff. But like for me, I just never know how to act in funerals.
It's kind of awkward. Yeah.
It's sad, but I'm not. You see people crying and stuff, and I'm like, okay, like I don't know what to do. Right. I'm just there.
They're there.
Yeah. Okay.
So I had a cousin at a funeral, and like almost politician-y. I walked in and was like, "How you doing?" His mom had just died, and I walk away and like, "You're so fucking dumb."
That's my reaction.
I'm just like, "Oh, nice to see you. How's it going? God, tell me how life's been." Well, my mom just died.
Thanks, asshole.
Like, yeah. Oh, yeah. Right. That's why we're here. Actually, weird.
Right. I haven't seen you in years.
Yeah, sometimes I'm like, you're an idiot. Go sit down.
Nothing brings a family together like a death.
Yeah, true. Or tears them apart.
One of the two.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of people there. It was a pretty big funeral.
Good turnout.
And it was a big church, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm at this funeral. It's a Hispanic mass, kind of. So the priest,
Spanish mass, like
yeah.
they actually said it in Spanish.
Yeah. The priest is talking Spanish. I don't speak a Spanish, so there's a couple things where they'd say like they would say things like it'd be like God be with you, I think it was, or something, and like I would be like, blah, 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 blah. And like I'd repeat. Alicia looks over and she fucking loses her shit. She like leans down and she's like, they're like, is she crying? And I'm like, no.
She's laughing
Leo
at
ends
me.
up telling us, look, Leo, our son,
Yeah.
he goes, you guys are bad at funerals.
You guys need to stop. Mom's laughing. You're saying gibberish.
I was like, dude, that's like, and there was a couple times where I'm like, man, that's fucking crazy. And I was like, oh shit, I'm at church.
My brother did that.
I am sorry.
My brother went to church with his wife, and he goes, oh shit, oh fuck, oh god damn it.
Yeah.
He kept catching himself with other cuss words.
Well, that's pretty much what I did. But like, you know, and it's not disrespect to like what's going on in this situation.
No, but it's the environment. Yeah, right.
Then I'm like sitting there looking around this church, and I just like got to thinking like, why do churches need to be this massive? I mean, this church was massive. Like we're talking 100-foot vaulted ceiling. Like I'm like, how much money was here? You know, like
It's a temple of God.
I don't know, man.
It's a statement to God.
It was a beautiful church, but like it's just crazy. And then what really, I almost lost my shit on this one. And like because at masses day you have to stand up, sit down, stand up, sit down.
Yes.
Well, there's a point where we stand up, and I'm sitting there, and it's kind of quiet for a second, and
you
then
stand up and you're sitting there.
Oh, you know what
and
I mean.
Everyone's looking at you
And
like,
then,
stand up, asshole.
So I'm standing there, and I'm like, you know, they start playing a mariachi band plays
In the church?
in the church.
Wow.
But they're singing Hallelujah, right? And then mariachi and
Hallelujah.
no, for
Like
real.
it was good? Like was it slow mariachi or was it fast?
Some of it was slow. Some of it was mariachi. You know, like it was just. I'm like sitting there.
Did they have the horns and everything?
Oh yeah,
Wow, that's got to be loud in the church.
it was very loud.
Yeah.
So I'm like sitting there, like, okay, so like, is mariachi okay to have in a church though?
In
but
a
like,
Spanish mass, yes. There's
it was
the
just
mariachi section.
but when they
of the-
started doing the Hallelujah song and like it was all mariachi, like I wasn't expecting that. So
Yeah.
like I'm like
yeah,
try not to
Well, I
laugh
mean,
because
like-
I'm like, what the hell? But it made me think. I think I want a mariachi.
that's your funeral.
Fuck yeah, dude! They were fucking good
I'll
too.
bet.
Like there was a moment where they're singing like real loud.
Yeah.
And they were just playing their guitar and their bass, and then
That's
one guy had a violin, and then there's two with little trumpets. Yeah, it was crazy.
That's cool. Did they have the plunger in the end to
No,
make it quieter?
no.
It's all out.
It was all out.
Nice.
No plungers.
Well, I mean, in white churches, it's very common to have like soft rock, you know? So why not a mariachi?
AC/DC,
You
whatever.
know, they just, it's very...
I just didn't expect the mariachi. So that the very first time I heard it, obviously, I'm like really trying to not laugh.
yeah, right.
We're sitting in the back, thank
Sure.
goodness. You know, we're in the very back.
You're
I'm
like expecting the chips to come out, you know?
oh my
like,
God.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there like smiling. If you guys can't see, those who can't see, I'm smiling. But I was like smiling in the church, like, oh my God. But yeah, I
And the
think
entire time, Beamy sitting there like, these guys.
well, and later on he does say, because we're like, we'll giggle here and there. Just, it's funeral etiquette. A lot of times people react in certain scenarios differently.
You laugh through your pain. It's, it's a way of handling grief.
Church is different. I'm not a Catholic. I'm, I don't know what I grew up Christian, but like,
Right.
church is different.
You're a
for me now.
non-practicing man of God.
It's different for me now. I think sometimes there's people there that are fake. Because I was watching some people
you think?
oh yeah,
At a church? No.
and I'm like seeing people. I'm like, nah,
Yeah.
you don't come here.
Yep.
Like a
I'm
lot
all
of times
about
that's
God, but I don't think I've kept my feelings about churches quite.
But
Now,
like,
there are some that I'm sure.
So
are
they
fake.
did the whole like you can go up there and get blessed if you wanted to.
Yes.
Like, little treat.
They'll touch you on your forehead.
He had the little jar, or he had the little like chalice with.
Yeah.
He would dip the wafer in there
Yep.
and then put it in people's mouths if you wanted.
Yes.
If you wanted to.
Yeah.
But
So if you are not Catholic, you know what you have to do? Because I've done this before. Yep. You put your hands like this and you bow, and then he'll
bless you.
Because you're not supposed to take the Eucharist unless you are a Catholic.
Yeah, and Alicia's like, can you take it if you say you're Catholic but you're not baptized? I'm like, well, I'm sure you can take it. I don't think so. I don't think. Like Jesus is like, oh no, slaps it out of his hand.
Sorry, I'm on a diet. Is this a diet wafer?
I'm a recovering alcoholic.
So my high school girlfriend and I got in a little bit of an argument around the time we were going to break up.
Shocker.
Yeah. Because she was like devout Catholic, which is fine. But she was like, well, once they put the holy water into the wine and they bless it, it becomes Jesus's blood. Like it's the literal blood of God.
Yeah,
like,
the representation.
No, it's literal. It's literally blood.
Literally
so I go,
not blood. But
and she goes, and like, whoever is presenting it at the end, they have to drink whatever's left over because it's the blood of God. And you're not going to. So my question to her was, so theoretically, let's say that this guy, the water, it's blessed. It's now the blood of God. They go and they give this out. And then there's like a ton left in this cup. So the guy drinks it down and he gets in his car and he drives. If he gets pulled over by a cop.
It's blood of Jesus, bro.
Is he going to end up like being drunk or is it he not?
No.
I felt like that was a pretty good way to test it. Like I'm going to take an entire bottle of God blood and I'll drink it and then get in my car and see what happens.
Yeah, that's
I mean, because theoretically, and all due respect.
This is Jesus' blood on inside me.
I don't understand why it matters so much if it's a symbol of something that's important versus like the literal thing. Because I feel like the Catholic Church years ago made a big deal out of the world being flat. And they're like, nah, it was a Galileo or whoever found out the world was round. They're like, yeah, you excommunicated, like literally excommunicated for hundreds of years.
Oh, yeah.
And, lo and behold, the earth, sorry for you flat earthers, the earth is not flat. It's clearly round. Yeah. Plenty of evidence to prove undeniably that it's round. And here... Yeah. They are like, yeah, I mean, okay, it's round, but they stuck their entire basis on it must be flat for no apparent reason. Can it just be wine that we're saying this is in honor of what Jesus did?
Yeah,
I don't get why it needs to be so literal.
I don't think they should say it's a literally blood because literally, if you're drinking blood, you're actually drinking.
You're a vampire.
Yeah,
you're a vampire.
But like, it's a representation of the blood of Christ that he died for.
But for many, that's not the belief. They believe it's literally blood.
That's really hard to believe.
And it's literally the skin, the flesh of God.
Yeah, that's usually where you take. Like when I went to church, we did communion, and so it'd be like this represents God's
and it's different
body
for modern thinking people, but people that I'm telling you, man, like there are people that are in the traditional.
I believe it.
Values that are just die hard. So they're like, this is freaking skin.
The fact that you said that about the drinking thing, that's what I was going to actually bring up before you brought that up. Is so. I know back before like COVID, what it would do, everyone would sip out of the same cup.
Yeah.
And then they'd wipe it.
Yeah.
They'd wipe it every time, right?
Right.
So they didn't do that this time. They would just dip the thing.
Yeah.
So
and
that's how they
give
kind
that to you.
Which was cool.
So they've changed it post COVID.
Yeah, they had to, But the priest, I'm sitting there and I'm watching him, because I'm a very observant when it comes to that stuff, and so I'm watching him and then all of a sudden he drinks the chalice.
Yeah, all the way down.
All the way down, bro. And I'm like, damn.
Somebody put a little more Jesus blood in that than they needed to.
Babe, he just drank that whole thing.
Yeah, they always do. They have to because you can't waste Jesus's blood.
My guy poured another bit more in there. And then you see him wipe, and then he drinks it again. I'm like...
Yeah, because they have to get it
And
all
I'm sitting
out.
there, I'm like, babe, did you see that? That dude's going to be drunk by the time he's done
like,
here.
No, it's Jesus' blood.
Let me tell you about the Catholic Church. Let me tell you something. I just don't believe this shit. I just need money.
Look, I never thought it was real, but my mom made me. All right?
Mom. But then he pours another.
Are you for real?
3.
And no one's coming up anymore. He's just continuing.
Yeah, it was just the end. Yeah, this was at the end, so like you just said.
So whatever's left in the chalice or then the little container, he's like, He's not passing it around.
No, he can't.
Good Lord.
Yeah. Oh, he was.
God Almighty. By the end of that thing, he's like, oh, this is the best funeral I've ever done.
Yeah, no. So he drank it all.
Wow.
Now, I don't know if it was wine or grape juice.
It's wine.
I like to think it's wine.
In the Catholic Church, it is always wine. It's wine. Yeah.
But what if you're like a recovering alcoholic and then you're not anymore?
I don't think that exists in the Catholic Church. I think it's just continuing alcoholic. Yeah,
but no, so the service was very beautiful.
Yeah.
All jokes aside, it was.
I love Catholic churches. I want to say it was gorgeous.
It was a beautiful.
And I really do like the tradition. Like if I were to go back to church, I would want an open-minded church that was kind to all of God's children. But I do like the traditionalist feel.
Yeah,
a pretty church and the.
They still had Christmas decorations up. I thought that was a little weird, but come on, man. Christmas.
Well,
is over,
in Mexico, they celebrate Christmas much longer than they do in America. Many countries.
Like how long are we talking?
Into January. Like there are countries that are still doing.
Okay.
Celebratory
we'll
things.
say we'll go with that.
Yeah.
The church though, it was a beautiful. Like I said, the service was very beautiful.
Was it a church in Yakima?
It was a very beautiful
I've never
service.
been in their churches.
The church was massive. Like it was one of the biggest churches I've ever been into. It also made me realize, like, when you go to funerals, you kind of reflect on your own demise, I guess, in a sense, right? And I was just looking, I was like, I told Lisa, I go, yeah, we can probably just do this in the house. Because I don't think this many people are coming to my funeral.
I don't think I want this many people at my funeral.
Even so, I don't think there's no way.
Is there a little part of your ego that wants to, like, pretend die so you can see who shows up and what they say?
Kind of, I guess, but I just have always been under the impression that probably no one's going to be there.
Yeah, sure.
Like my kids, yeah, obviously.
Yeah, your family.
But even them, they might be like, it's just dad. It's just dad.
Yeah, right.
I'll send him a card.
Yeah.
I'll send him a card after death.
Dad wasn't into this kind of thing. So in honor of him, I'm going to stay at home.
Yeah. But like, it just made me think like, damn, I don't know a lot of people I don't think I would have that many people show up. It would be like a pew, one pew. That's it, just a row.
Yeah.
got some of the family, and then that's probably it. Maybe some friends if they're alive.
It's like an intimate wedding, right? Where you only invite like a very small select group. Yeah. It's like an intimate funeral.
And I remember in high school, I wrote this poem in English class. And it was about, I forget what the poem was supposed to be based on or how it was supposed to, but mine was basically talking about, I don't want no one to be at my funeral. And like,
your teacher's like, Jesus.
Like there's, no one's there. Like it was, I think in hindsight, when I reflect on that, I was probably my headspace was just, there was a lot going in my life as a kid growing up and stuff in high school and stuff. I think there was just some kind of, I was letting some of that out,
Yeah, right.
Which I would do when I used to write a lot of poems and stuff. So I think that was it. The teacher fucking writes a note. If you need to talk to me,
yeah,
that's sad.
I referred you to the counselor.
Yeah, it was like sad. She was like sad for me, and I'm like, oh no, it's just a poem. And I'm thinking like,
no. She's like, I'd come to your funeral. No. I don't want you. I don't want you. Funeral.
And if anybody comes to my funeral, I want people to joke around, fucking
laugh,
drink,
tell
have
stories.
Fun. Yeah.
Get in a fight or two.
Yeah, if you feel like fucking, go fuck in the bathroom or something. Just do something crazy.
That's his funeral, not mine. You better be on your best behavior. Classy event. I want a tuxedo.
Ballroom style. Yeah. I need a dance afterwards.
Yeah, right.
But, I don't know.
Yeah,
it was interesting.
Those types of things. I remember back when I was younger, like early 20s, there's one specific night I remember being in my dorm room, just laying in my early 20s. I was in college a long time. Laying in so maybe I was a little younger than that. I don't know. But anyway, whatever. College age.
Yeah, he's a doctor.
Yeah, I should be. Laying in my bed and looking at the ceiling and just feeling this overwhelming, desperate feeling of like, someday I'm going to die. I'm not going to be here. I'm not going to exist. Like, how can you just not exist? Like, how can I not exist? And so much anxiety being wrapped into this feeling of like, someday I just won't be.
I hate that. I still get that feeling.
Like it was overwhelming. And it's something where it's like, and I would logically tell myself, well, I mean, if you don't exist, you're not going to know it. Like, your awareness is gone. So what does it matter? But it mattered so much. Like, I'm here. What am I? If I end up nothing, what am I? Like, what is the before and what is the after, and blah, 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 blah. And that's anxiety speaking, you know, because like, I haven't done that in a long time, but I have started ever since. And it's weird how winter break happens. I usually get down in the dumps at the second half of winter break, and I really like my job, and I don't mind going back to work, but there's something about everything slowing down and then picking back up that tends to throw me for a little bit of a loop.
Well, it's hard to get back into that like cycle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You know, it's like you get back into it quickly, but mentally I typically struggle. Most years I get fairly depressive. Last year I didn't do too bad. This year I've done really well. I'm not depressive, but I've noticed that ever since, you know, again, that second half of winter break to now, there are more nights. Usually I lay down and I'm out like a light.
Yeah.
More than not at this moment, I'm laying down and my brain's going. Luckily I'm not there looking at the ceiling thinking someday I'll be dead. But it's just, I don't know why I'm anxious. I guess it's an anxiety. I don't know why, but I just feel like something's going on in my head. I'm not tired in this moment. My brain's active. I want to shut it off. So one thing I'm very excited to try, our friends at Magic Mind are working with us again, and they are going to send us a sleeping elixir that they've created.
Oh, that'd be cool.
And we haven't gotten it yet, but I can't wait to try it because I just want to relax my brain and fall asleep.
Oh,
you
dude.
know?
I'm the same way because just last week, I typically only get about maybe 5 hours of sleep, right? I go to bed late, wake up early in the morning to go to the gym. But this last week, I don't know what it's been, but I don't know if it's because I'll be switching jobs and all that anxiety coming up and just the unknown. But like I've slept like
so you have a reason, because I would be doing the same thing.
Well, yeah, even before then, I would still just, like you said, sometimes you'll be like, okay, I need to go to sleep, and you're just like, just thinking random shit. Just, it's not even necessarily like bad things. It's just like your brain's just like.
It's just active, right.
And my issue lately has been I'll fall asleep, I'll wake up about an hour, hour and a half later, and then I can't fall asleep until like, so the other night I fell asleep around, we'll say 10, woke up about 11:30. Then I was up until about 3 in the morning. Then I had to wake up at 5:30 to go to the gym. And it happened 3 days in a row almost like that.
Rough.
And I was just like, ugh. And then I was like, oh, I'm so tired. Like one day I was like, okay, I'm tired. I'm going to sleep so good tonight. Nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just
you
like
almost get too tired.
Getting in that deep sleep where you're just like brain shut off. And usually what I do, and I heard this from a Theo Vaughn podcast actually, and I've done this a few times, and it kind of works sometimes actually. So there'll be those moments where I'll wake up and I'm like trying to go back to sleep.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, just stop thinking. No, just stop. Then you'll hear like something, or you're just, what's that? But he said, and I don't know if he said it or if it was someone else, but they said what they do when they're in those moments, they'll do math.
Oh yeah, sure. Do something boring.
Right, they'll do math in their head. So that's what I'll do that now.
Makes sense.
I'll start like counting back change to some random person in my head, and
yeah, sure.
Like, oh, you just paid $4.99 for that burger? That's gonna be $15.23. You know, whatever. And like,
then I'm confused and angry in bed. But.
Yeah. So then I'm like, that's the wrong change. You didn't give me the right change. Like, no, but like, I'll start doing that math, and then I think it works because there's some times where all of a sudden I'm finally asleep.
Right.
But there is those days though. I don't know what it is where it's just you wake up. Like the other day, the dog woke me up at 2 in the morning. And I didn't go back to sleep till probably almost 4. I was like, son of a bitch.
Yeah.
But luckily it was Friday into Saturday. So it was like, I was okay with that. It wasn't like a work day.
Yeah.
Although work days, man, you know, I'm trying to keep my job going, knowing that I'm, you know, transitioning to a new job. You're trying not to
just bail too early kind of a deal?
Mentally, I see how people can do that because I'm like, I'm really like, okay, I got to be, you know, focused into what I'm doing now.
Yeah. Be present
and get things going. But there's also that point where I'm just like, man.
Yeah,
I can see. I think the last week I'm just gonna be like, I don't give a fuck.
Because really, I mean, at that point,
What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Fire me?
Yeah. I quit.
You know, I had a lot of anxiety, or like I was very anxious when I had to tell my boss.
Right.
I put in my 2 weeks, right? And then when I did that, it was like, okay, that wasn't bad, you know. And then there was a part of me that really wanted them to say, hey, we would love to keep you, and this and that and the other thing.
Right.
That didn't happen. And so all that anxious feeling started slowly going away, because it's like, well, they don't
give a F you.
They don't give a fuck. You know, like, they
right.
don't care. They can give you.
Right.
All right.
Right.
It's like, it's basically like, we can't wait till you leave.
Like,
is how it feels, right? And then I tell my text, and that was on Tuesday or whatever. And it was just, a pin can drop. My
Really?
team's very quiet already, right? When I talk to them, and I try to, and I'll always joke, I'm like, man, you guys don't know, not everyone's saying everything at once.
Yeah.
And so I like told them, and nothing. I was just like, I was hoping for a little better, you know.
Yeah.
A little better reaction. I have a good rapport.
Like, no.
So I had a couple texts reach it. You know, a lot of them.
They're not gonna say it in the moment, but they might. Come
Yeah, like a couple sent me messages like, you know, you were a really good boss. This, that, and the other. Like, you know, it's gonna suck to see you go.
Yeah.
But Johnny, he goes, our team's quiet. I know our team's quiet, but you're going to be missed.
Yeah.
You know, because right after that, he was like, I know we're quiet. You know, everyone seems quiet, but just so you know, you'll be missed.
They're processing. Just give them some time.
And I go, yeah, I'm going to take the silence as like they were just like
speechless.
Speechless. They didn't know what, they couldn't find the words.
Yeah, they were so in mourning.
Yeah, that's how I took it.
It was.
He goes, so he's like, yeah, that's kind of what it was. I'm like, all right, but
yeah,
I think the fact that the job didn't
reach
you've
out,
been there almost 10 years. It's like, you'd think someone would say, hey, you've been.
You want to believe that you matter to them.
But in the end,
they make you feel
really
like you're just replaceable.
You are. And that's the thing. That made me really realize, and I think that's where I started feeling better about moving on is.
Yes.
You are replaceable.
Loyalty goes two ways. And that's the thing that corporate America is doing a horrible job with. And just many things in our culture are doing a horrible job. Right now, the idea is that we should be loyal to them. There's not a back and forth. And the reality is, if you really want to have, and I was listening yesterday to the radio, and this guy, they have some show where people will call in that have companies or like their startups, and they'll call in, and there's this panel that will give advice. And so one of the guys was talking about one of the metrics you want to pay attention to is how happy your staff is, because it's really expensive and there's a lot of other cost to high turnover rates. But that's the reality of most of our society is like there's a lot of unhappy people that are treated poorly in their job.
Yeah.
Because the loyalty goes one way, and that's not the way it works. Like, if you're going to be loyal to me, then I'm loyal to you. If you're not going to be loyal to me, why am I going to be loyal to you?
Yeah, and that's
what do I owe you?
Exactly. That's how it feels. It's like, okay, I've been putting time and effort into this, and like it's like any relationship. You put in your effort, you put in that time, you put in that work.
Right.
But if it's not reciprocated, it's like, well, what am I doing?
Right.
Like, why am I even bothering? If you're not gonna reciprocate what I'm putting out, like, fuck you. Mm-hmm. So like on Tuesday, I went to. So after I had told my text, whatever, I'm still helping with projects, and I'm still making sure I'm like doing my job. Like I said, I'm still staying loyal, even though I'm like feeling that transition where I can be lazy.
Right.
I went to Hermiston it was me, Johnny, and his name's Jeff. He's one of the telecom guys. And we were doing the phone replacement over there at the Hermiston clinic. And before it started, we're like, oh, let's go eat. So we went to Panda, right? And I had a fortune cookie. I always I always have this. So for fortune cookies, what I do is I'll eat some of my food, and then I'll break off half of fortune cookie, eat half of it, and then I read my cookie.
Okay.
Right? I always do that. It's like some kind of it's my
your
routine.
Ritual.
Yeah, it is. Well, this time, like I said, I'm thinking all this stuff and just like, I needed a sign. Am I making the right choice? And then my fucking fortune was, it said proceed with confidence.
Nice.
And I was like, all right. That's
the universe
to me,
told me
that I like literally took that as a sign. Like that's like out of all the fortunes I could have had, I had this one that said, and I always get the stupid ones. And this one said, proceed with confidence. And I was like, you know what? Okay. And so I put that in my wallet. Like,
nice.
I'm going to look at that.
Every once in a while, I'll keep it.
Yeah, because that one, like, I know that had meaning to me just because it's like, I wasn't really confident doing what I was thinking I was going to do or if it was the right move. But you know what? Panda Express really fucking hit home for me. And their food's not that great, but, they hit home.
In your opinion.
No,
Blanca loves Panda.
I hate their chicken teriyaki.
Oh, yeah?
Every time I've tried it, it's like the chicken's okay, but like, it just don't hit.
I got you.
What do these kids say? Don't slap. It's bussin'.
Let's not
Sus or what is it? Bussin'?
Children language. I don't know.
I didn't bust all over my chicken, just so you know.
I don't know. I can't keep up with it
I wasn't
anymore.
so excited that I busted a nut all over my chicken.
Man.
Is it disgusting or is it bussin'? Or something like that. It's some
bussin'. I think you're right. I think I've heard bussin', which makes me
did that
think
in
of
high school,
bussing
though.
tables.
Oh, I did that like I was taking the bus to school and going. I had to take the bus to fucking work. I was bussing all around the fucking city.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I'm not into the children lingo these days.
There's a couple ones that I don't mind.
Yeah.
Like I find them funny. Or like I'm like, okay, that one I don't mind that one. I can't think of one right now. But there's not one there.
But there's some great ones. Yeah. But I am excited to try
the sleep aid.
So yeah, talking with them a little bit to lead up to working with them again. It's amazing. They have a lot more products now than they used to. It used to just be the energy drink.
Yeah.
And they're
the focus one.
If you guys remember, if you guys remember when we talked about them before, they're little shots and they're made using natural things. So it's not like a chemical. And we talked to Kimberly
Grustis.
Yeah, a couple weeks ago and about the importance of that, making sure that you're using natural products. And the thing that really still resonates with me about Magic Mind that I think is just really cool in today's world, because usually if something's gimmicky and it's going to make money, companies do it. Magic Mind, what is that stuff that they sell that's basically a drug? It can be addictive.
Like creatine? No.
Not creatine, but it's like, I can't remember. You can buy it in like
in bulk.
Nah, you can buy it in like if you go into like I'm all over my
in a supplement store.
Not even a supplement store. Like people will go into gas stations and they'll buy it because it's like it's kind of like heroin. It starts with a K. Creton or
ketamine.
Yeah, ketamine. Anyway, there's stuff that right now is like a big deal that all these like people are using, and that it's like a very cool thing right now, but it's not really a healthy. Like there's a lot of research behind the fact that it's probably not good for you, and they purposely are not including it in their product. No, it's it behaves like an opiate.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's like I forget what it's called. Kratom. Anyway, that doesn't matter. The point is they don't use it on principle because they're trying to make something that's actually healthy for you.
They don't use it. I'm like,
they do not use it.
Oh, okay. I'm like,
they do not use it.
Looking for the ingredients. That's why I'm
No. They do not use it on purpose because there's research that shows that it's really not good for you, and it doesn't do what this product's designed to do anyway. We've tried the focus drink before, and it tasted pretty good.
It was good
for a natural.
It's good to drink cold.
Yeah. I never did it hot. I never tried it hot.
Yeah. No, I think I took a sip one time when it was kind of still a little warm.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, that wasn't.
It wasn't as good.
I'm just gonna be honest. Drink it cold. It's way better.
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty good. Really, it's like a little. It tastes like a smoothie almost.
Yeah, it does, and it looks like it wouldn't taste good because it's got that natural green color to it. But when you taste it, it is actually pretty good.
Yeah, it has the ashwagandha.
They have chewables now, I guess, like gummies. They've got, again, that sleep aid. That's the one I'm really excited to try because I just need my brain to relax. And I can't figure out what it is that's causing my stress or my anxiety, because I don't feel generally stressed or anxious.
Well, do you think it's because your sleeping pattern has changed?
It could be, because I was staying up later. I'm trying to get myself to go to bed earlier, you know. I am a night owl by nature.
I am too. Like I said, we get up at 5:20 every morning, but I still, knowing that I get up at 5:20, I still go to bed I'll lay down about 10, but I don't fall asleep till 12 sometimes.
Yeah, usually it's like 10 to 11 is usually when we go head for bed. But yeah, like during those 2 weeks where it was winter break for me, I was staying up to like 1, 2, sometimes 3 in the morning.
That's me on the weekends for sure.
Know, I mean, on the weekends, it's funny because I get kind of in that habit, that routine, and then I don't stay up as late usually. Last night I was up to like 1, probably 1:30.
I went to bed early.
And that could be why. But I feel some sort of mental stress.
Yeah.
Or anxiety.
Don't know what it is.
But there's no real reason for it.
Yeah, I've been there.
And so that's always the most frustrating for me, is when, like, you know, usually it's like I'm avoiding something and I can figure it out and I can address it and then I can tackle that. This one I'm not really sure. So maybe I'll get some help from Magic Mind. So I'm excited for that.
I know. You know, it's funny you say that, because when I was having that trouble sleeping, I usually will drink like a tea, like a sleepy tea or something like that, before bed. So I was gonna start doing that again, because I was like, "Fuck, I need something to just kind of chill." It's not, you know, I can't even say it's because of energy drinks, because I don't drink those,
right?
You know, and if I do, it's like random, like So it's not like something I really drink anymore.
Yeah.
So I'm like, same way. I don't know. Like, Alicia was asking me, like, well, what's on your mind? What are you thinking about, this and that? And I'm like, honestly, I can't tell you. I have
aware of my brain in order to tell you what my brain's thinking. I don't know.
I'm not thinking anything. I'm just thinking, you know, like, oh shit, you know, why is that 12 inches tall? Why is this a 4x4, you know, fucking structure like that?
Yeah.
Why is the church so big and it looks cool, but like, how much do they spend on that?
Why is the priest drinking so much?
Fuck, I was really wondering. Like, bro, this guy is drinking too much. But yeah, man, I don't know.
It's wild. I don't know. Our brains do their own thing sometimes, but you know, it is generally improving. Like I said, usually during this winter time, I can get a little down in the dumps. But overall, I'm feeling pretty good. The weather's looking good this weekend. It's been sunny. Dude. It's been warm. It's been dry.
What winter?
I know. We're like in like early fall almost. Like we're in the 40s, which, you know,
it was 50 something yesterday.
Was it 50 something?
Yeah.
I'm not surprised, because I didn't have a jacket on or anything.
I went to
it's finally
Costco.
Dry. Oh God, Costco over the weekend. They're building us a second Costco. That can't open fast enough. I'm telling you.
So we were in at Orange Theory, where we go. Jenny, one of the coaches, she was doing a little like a TED Talk style.
Yeah.
And so me and Alicia went to that.
How was it?
It was cool. It was actually really cool. She talked about her journey. She lost over 100-something pounds.
Did you guys sit somewhere?
Or sit in there right on the bench.
Okay.
Yeah, she put a little display on the TV that's right there when you first walk in.
Yeah.
So she had a computer hooked up, and it was like slides of her.
Did a lot of people show up?
No, not a lot of people.
Not
it was probably like maybe 10.
Okay. Yeah. Enough though where it was worthwhile, and
it was cool. Yeah, it was just really cool to hear her journey and like how she got there. She was talking about goals, and it was actually, you know, you think they would be like goals, blah 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 blah. But she was genuinely honest. Like, no, there was times where it was just, this was hard, or this was, like, this was something that I struggled with. And it was funny because I think some of the stuff it really resonated with Alicia, and the fact that there were similarities there,
Yeah.
She talked about, like, overall, she lost this many pounds, but there was times where it was like frustrating because she didn't lose anything.
Yeah, like that plateau time or whatever.
So she hit a few of those, it sounds like.
Yeah.
But it was really interesting to see her just her journey, and just like what she did to overcome those things. And and so for her it was, and something like Mark and all the coaches I've always heard is like just being consistent.
Right.
just because you're not seeing those consistency. If you're just continually to go, continually to change your habits, continually to like.
I think it's Adrian who will say, I believe it's Adrian. He'll say, we're going to change one way or the other. So you might as well control your change. And he's like, it just coming is the hardest part. So once you get here, just do it. And I mean, it is true. I remember somebody somewhere out there is the idea of choose your hard. Everything's hard. Being overweight is hard. Being in shape is hard, so choose your hard. One of them's a lot easier because you don't have to do anything to deal with your hard. The other, you have to actively do something to deal with your hard. But it really is the habit. And I'm in a pretty decent habit with the working out and all that now. I just need to get the diet side a little more under control. But
yeah, that's where we're at. We just got a bunch of cookies and shit.
I had that so under control 2 years ago. I mean, I was eating like salmon, like natural salmon, natural caught, like all the time, and really healthy. And I'm not horrible. I mean, I'm still not eating like a lot of chips and shit, but. And
that's the kind of thing what she was talking about too, was like the diet part. You don't want to like just, because a lot of times what people do is they just jump into diet. I'm going to just, I'm just going to eat
diet.
Salmon for the next year.
Yeah.
But then, you don't. Or if you do, it's like you get tired of it.
But it is about making choices like, okay, this is a Monday night. There's no reason for something special. I might as well do something that is relatively healthy for me rather than every night going for the cheese.
Yeah, and I guess she's very, she said she grew up with a very picky eater, so she's not very, for her, she just can eat the same thing every day. And her husband was there and he was like, oh yeah, it was always this and rice. Like, that's what she likes. It was salmon and rice, and that's what she likes.
Oh, okay.
Like, so she would always eat that.
Yeah.
But like us, we like sweets. I like cookies every now and then.
I do too.
I like a little schneef now and then. No, I'm just kidding. I don't. But like, well, man, I was trying to find this quote that she had put up there. It was really cool, but I cannot. It was from C.S. Lewis. But damn, he has a lot of quotes.
The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
C.S. Lewis. Yeah, it was something about difference and this, that, and the other. It was a cool quote.
Look up C.S. Lewis, something about difference. That's cool.
I wish I could. I'm like looking right now through my phone to see, but obviously I'm a shitty Googler.
Hard to do it on the spot.
Yeah, I should have had it prepped, but I didn't think I was going to talk about that. But
that's all right.
But anyway, yeah, it was a pretty cool quote. That's like, basically, makes you think.
C.S. Lewis.
Let me see.
He's always making you think. What if I find that wardrobe I can walk into, and suddenly I'm in a different world with cool little humans?
Alicia
that are
actually,
part animal.
She, I think she took a picture of it. To be honest.
Yeah.
But anyway, fuck it, whatever.
We have a question of the week.
I kind of do.
I know you brought up one that was kind of funny.
Yeah, I was just looking up for funny quotes. I can't find that one now, but here we go. It doesn't have to do with being in a relationship now, but like it was, what's the pettiest reason you ever stopped liking someone? Like,
see, I've only ever really been in longer term relationships.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I don't feel like I had real petty reasons for leaving relationships. Like when they ended, there was definitely.
Well, I don't know if it's even a relationship. I think it's just, say.
Even like friendship or something.
Yeah. So for me, there was this girl I dated. So I was in a relationship at this time. This was actually before I met Blanca. Mm-hmm. So I was at Job Corps and there was this girl, and I'm a very. Everyone has a pet peeve, right? Mine's people who chew with their mouth closed or open. I hate when people chew with their mouth closed and have fucking manners.
That's why I always just chew with my mouth open.
Yeah, I like cows.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can you play a cow for me, girl?
I want to see that thing fall out your mouth. Girl.
Yeah. Put on this cow outfit, baby. I want to see them udders. No, so there was this girl. And this is around the time I'm thinking don't want to be with her. So you start finding reasons to like get annoyed, I think.
Sure.
But one day I'm sitting there and she's sitting across from me and she's chewing, but she's chewing like she doesn't have any teeth, right? She's chewing like old lady. So She's like,
Wow.
if you had oatmeal in your mouth, she would open her mouth and I would see her tongue. Like she didn't have
But you couldn't see it.
yeah, no. And I was like staring at her and I was just like, kind of like annoyed
In that
because
moment,
I don't like hearing people
We're
chew.
done. I'm over.
No, I just looked at her and you get those intrusive thoughts. Well, sometimes it's really hard to control. And so instead of not saying anything, I go, why are you chewing like that?
What'd she say?
What do you mean? I'm like, close your mouth. Like, why are you, I don't want to see your food. Like, why are you chewing like that?
Yeah.
And then I'm like, what am I saying?
You look like an old woman with
She's
no
like, what? I'm
teeth.
like, you're going like this. And I kind of mimic it. And then I think it was at that point where I was just like, ugh, I don't like this girl.
Gross.
That's such
So
a
if
dick.
you're listening, hopefully you're not eating like that anymore. Apparently it's a big turnoff.
It was. So I remember I told one of my friends who was also friends with her. And I was like, he's like, he's like, Jesse. I'm like, what? He's like, why did you tell me that? I was like, well, it's just annoying. He goes, well, now when I'm with her, like I was all like,
That's
see.
all I'm gonna see.
And that's what he said. It's so annoying. But that's probably my pettiest reason to stop liking it. Just the chewing. I was like, instead of just getting over and sitting next to her or something. But then I feel like that'd be more in my ear.
Yeah. Right.
Like my mom, I love my mom, but there would be times we'd get in fights and she would take me to school and she would have an apple sometimes and she would chew and it would be quiet in the car. And holy shit, I love you, Mom, but damn, that apple was the crunchiest shit.
Do you think that's why? Is there a link there?
Yeah, probably.
Like,
I would be looking out.
That would annoy you.
I would be
so
looking.
then-
You get mad. You look out the window, just brooding, and
adult tantruming.
yeah, at 16, and I could hear her chewing, and I was just like, God damn it, man! I just want her to stop chewing already.
I want to watch your mom's comment roll in on this
She's like,
one. She's
I
gonna be
hate you, son.
F you. Your chewing sucks too, you know.
Probably.
We all chew. Apples are crunchy, okay?
Well, the other day I'm like chewing gum, and yesterday, and Alicia's like, "Babe, why are you chewing so loud?"
Man. Hey, I want to shout out to your mom and your dad because both of them are like our number one commenters.
They are.
They will comment on every video, and I think it's really cool that they listen. Thank you guys for your support.
I do appreciate that. I love you guys.
It's pretty neat.
Cade, shout out to Cade. He let us know about a podcast that he had just recently listened to, and he said that was a really good one.
Yeah,
I don't know if it
glad
was
that you're
the-
enjoying it.
I don't know if it was the one with Tony Moore
Yeah,
or if it was one previous, but he said it was a really good one.
Okay.
I know Johnny really liked the Tony Moore one as well.
Tony Moore was a really interesting guy to talk to.
He was.
I mean, everybody that we've talked to on the show, and it's been a small handful at this point. They've all been interesting people with different backgrounds, and that's one thing that I'm really proud of in what we're doing, even if it's still not like widespread and like a big deal. For just two guys sitting in a basement hanging out for an hour or so every week,
Yeah.
it's neat that.
It's coming.
Like I feel like we have topics that we discuss that resonate hopefully with people enough, at least that people are coming to us asking to be on the show.
Yeah.
And
Well,
it seems like maybe it's content that if not today, someday somebody that needs it will hear it.
well,
and we'll get the
it's
help
just
they
like
need in the moment.
we said earlier, consistency, right? Like
Yeah.
we've been pretty consistent putting out our podcast.
Right.
It's been years, but I think
It
that
has like literally.
I think
been
that consistency, like, eventually will,
Yeah.
come back to us.
Right.
We'll get that, reciprocation because we're constantly trying to engage people and we're
Yep.
trying to get things going. And
Yep.
so slowly we're starting to see that. And I think that's,
Yeah,
and I mean, that's it.
Like, and
this
that's
ain't going to happen overnight.
Kind
Some
of going
people
with
it
like
does.
mental health. We talk a lot about mental health, and January is a good time to talk about mental health because it's darker. It's kind of sad after the holidays. There's lots of reasons to be down.
Yeah.
But just like what we're doing, you don't quit. Just like the gym said, don't quit.
I'm just kidding.
That's the same thing with mental health. Take care of yourself. Don't quit. Yeah, I mean, like for what we're doing, who knows? You see a lot of times, like what about all those like videos that come out, and it's like that was actually 8 years ago, but now it's like the biggest video. Maybe one day they'll be like, God, have you listened? This is just really plummeted.
It's so crazy, man.
Wow, and some of their references are really old, but they got some good
What are
content.
they talking about? What's COVID? That was like a long time ago.
COVID? I don't know. Yeah, like it's
is- I don't know. I think eventually, like,
Yeah.
it'll pay off.
Whatever.
If
you
it
know
doesn't,
what? It's
I like
fun.
doing it.
It's fun. And to those of you that have been listening, thank you. And
Keep
hey,
listening.
you know, if you want to hear about something else, you're like, stop whining, stop being stupid, then just tell us what you want to hear about, and we'll talk about that too.
Yeah, getting those ideas is cool.
Yeah.
But anyway, you guys have a fucking great weekend. I'm going to Oregon for the one last time today.
Yeah, nice. And then you're shifting gears into something new. So Jesse's going to be a new man in the new year. I'm going to be the same old
Goals, man.
In the new year. But yeah, set those goals, accomplish them, or don't. I don't do resolutions. I don't.
No, so you know, ending on this, I guess. But one thing she talked, Jenny talked about with goals is, you know, some people you write your goals down or you do all this thing, which is good to do, but you always want to make sure it's like attainable, right?
Right.
Like, or measurable of some type,
right?
Because sometimes you okay, I'm gonna do this, and it's kind of like
climb Mount Everest.
Yeah, it's kind of not realistic because is it benefiting you in any sorts? Because that's how she was saying. It's like you got to make sure it's a goal that's going to actually benefit you.
Yeah, right.
Like she brought up a thing where someone she knew loved how the French sounded, and so they wanted to speak French. But they never did it because it wasn't something that they really needed.
Yeah, right.
And so for me, like my goal that I had set for myself, I didn't write it down, but it was always mentally in the back of my head was, after, you know, I'm changing jobs within a year. I need to be in a new job, and
you did it.
And I did. I put it out there. I didn't think it was going to happen, obviously, but I mean, I just kept putting myself out there, like with resumes here and there, just to see what happens. Right? I'd see a job that came up, and then something happened, and so. Yeah. Like we said in the beginning, you put it out there. Yeah. It'll come back.
The energy you put into the world will come back to you.
I got good skibbies right there.
Yeah.
Skibbies came back.
Skibbies are bad. You don't want the skibbies.
No, you don't.
All right, guys. Don't get the skibbies this week. Keep yourself strong.
Wrap it up if you don't want the skibbies.
You know, get yourself some magic mind. Keep your mind calm. Keep your mind focused. And have a great week.
Yes.
We'll see you next time.